I'm sorry to say this is not what I'm seeing in my head. We have a bit of a problem, but it's fixable. What I think I'm going to do is fill this in here so it's more of a graduated. Fill this in here so it's more of a graduated, and the same with all these, so it isn't such sharp, obvious divisions. If we taper it, it make it more gradual. That might improve the whole situation. So, and these are doing just what I was afraid they were going to do. They're humped up. So what I think I'm going to do, we have two options. We can take the frames off the windows. These are going to replace, glue them on here and clamp them so that when we take the clamps off after the glue has dried, it will have forced, hopefully, these flat. I don't know if that's going to work. But we have to see how much they've bowed. We have to reshape them down. And I think that might work because, see, now it's not so bad because I forced it down. But I can't put too much wood back here because it'll force it out from the wall. So what if I were to well, one thing at a time. Let's remix some mud and try and taper this, and then while this is drying I can go ahead and finish the spots on this. That's where we need to start. Okay, I did some playing around with this one and I angled those and I left a little definition there, and I angled all this around here, and I think it'll look a lot better. So we're going to go ahead and let this dry, and I'm going to have a lot of sanding to do to smooth it out, but I think we're a lot closer to what I was seeing in my mind. It's really quite rough, so it's going to take a lot of sanding, but I like this so much better than this. So I'm going to keep working, and as I'm working, I'm going to think about what we need to see. I've already cracked this by forcing it to bend. So I don't know. We're just going to have to ponder that for a little bit. I don't want to leave the wood trim that's already on there because I think this will look better and it will be more in comparison or more blending with this. So we'll think about that for a while. So I have the three of them done now for the most part. Now what I need to do is let them dry, and then we will sand them down and see what we got. And I think we're going to have a good thing because once we get them sanded, then we'll paint them. I'm not sure what to do about these. I really don't want to start over. And I don't think if I were to put a piece of wood like this on here, well, maybe I could, and then glued it down. I think that's probably what I should have done in the first place, was put some kind of wood back here, glued them together, and then put the compound over all of it. So if I were to remake this out of much thinner cardboard and glue it over, because this is just pretty disillusioning. If I were to take, what if I were to take the wooden ones off the window and then put this stuff around it? Let's go take a frame off the window. Okay, so these are the three I want to replace. So let's try and take the small one off. No problem. We're going to clean this glue off the back, and then I'll put the joint compound over the top of this, and let's see what we have using this. All right, here's half of that wood trim with joint compound on. I can't do this side because I need somewhere to hold it. So I think this might work. Either way, it'll look a lot better than what we've got there. So we're going to lay that down there. I'm going to throw these three in the burn box, and I'm going to go get the other two off the wet walls and do that. And because it's going to look a lot better. There's just no doubt about it. The sanding is pretty much done, and when I was sanding the smaller wood frames, chunks of it came off, but that's okay because we're going to go ahead and paint it so it looks like the window has been chipping over time. Now what we're going to paint it, now this is what we're going to use to paint it. It's leftover paint I had from a project in the house. I don't remember what it was I was painting. But we're going to go ahead so we're going to go ahead, and I believe we'll start with the little windows first. And see how this is going to look. And I'm going to put a good solid coat on it because I don't want to have to go back and repaint it a second time. All right, so that's one done, except for where my fingers are holding it. We're going to put it on there and let it dry and continue painting. And then by the time we get done with those, this one where I haven't painted should be dry enough I can pick it up elsewhere and just finish painting all of them. So what we're going to do now, I think because it looks pretty good that way, I'm just going to go ahead and get my glue gun heating and get those installed. Well, we have these knots super glued on, and I thought that was the best way to go. I also thought it's missing something. So what I'm going to do is I took these leftover pieces from a dollhouse and I painted them black, and I'm going to put those there, but I'm going to put some sealer on it so they shine. Now I was also thinking to carry this kind of design over to the side windows, so I'm going to have to very carefully paint the inside of those windows, and I have some smaller trim I want to paint and put on them as well. All right, so these have all got a coat of gloss Mod Podge on it, and these were painted black and they dried enough so I could get a coat on them. So tomorrow when I come down, we'll be able to put the windows, these on the other windows, these on these, mark it on the floor, and get those installed. Big day. I have the glass glued in the windows, and the trim is all on. So the super glue is going to hold. So what we need to do now is decide how to get these in. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to take some two-sided tape, find the one I have marked as the center right here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of tape here on the top, across there. We're going to put a piece of tape down here across the bottom, And what this is going to do is going to hold it in place while the glue dries, hopefully. Now we're going to take some of our wood glue and we're going to spread it all over back here. All right, so we have glue everywhere. Now let's go put it in the castle. Okay, now hopefully you can see the lines I have put in on the back there, and that's to keep all the bottom of the windows level. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. I had a piece of trim break off and one of the center Celtic knots broke loose when the window fell down. So I'm going to let the glue dry and then we'll come down later, take the blockings off, I'll fix the repairs, and you can see what it looks like. I hope it looks good. A new day, and our glue is hopefully dried. So let's see what we got. And it looks like we have some Glue Run. And I believe for this piece of trim over here, instead of wood glue, we're going to use Contact Super Glue. All right, now what we have to do is touch up paint. Okay, there we have it. Our windows are installed. And I like it. Next thing we're going to do now is measure where this floor is going to go in. Thanks for watching. You guys all have a great afternoon, and I'll see you again. Bye.